Sorry, I forgot to turn off my mic there. Anyways, so the last video we covered was on the speaker's body language and how that body language would be able to help us accentuate and emphasize the portions of our speech that we wanted to show to our audience so that we can give them a good and detailed speech that would like kind of show like our confidence and attrition and some of the language and emotions that we wanted to convey to our audience by using our body and essentially like giving like great eye contact and showing that we can do these types of methods to be able to implement the factors of our speech even more. So after covering all the materials that we have covered, I'm going to give you guys a very quick, kind of easy way to kind of like practice the way of your delivery. And I'm going to try to do that as quick as possible because I know that these videos have been long and I don't want you guys to have to be super, super tired with all the videos because I know it's a lot of content, but I apologize for this, but like I said before, it's just something that we're going to have to get through. All right. So let's go ahead and get started, and I'm going to show you guys a practical way to practice your delivery. All right. So to begin practicing your delivery. All right. So there are many different kinds of ways, but in your book, like they give you like this 5-step method on how to practice your delivery. And I'm going to go through each one of those steps for you, and we're going to kind of like outline how you can do that on your own time. All right. So first, go through your outline out loud. We haven't talked about outlines just yet, but you guys know how to make an outline. And if you outline your speech, and we're going to talk about the outlines for your informative and persuasive, so that because you guys have to turn those in, but for this particular one, create an outline for your cultural artifact speech and go through your outline out loud, right? It's going to give you an understanding of how fast and slow your speech is going to be able to be delivered, right? And it's also going to give you guys like a sense of how to add and subtract from particular areas of your speech, because when you look at it on paper, it looks fairly quick, right? Like I can review things very fast on paper, but when you're speaking it out loud, it's going to show like which portions of your speech are taking a faster time rather than a slower time, or which ones need to be faster and which ones need to be slower, right? Depending on the level of detail that you have in them. Okay. And so after you're done with that, write out a final outline to your speech, right? So you've already picked and choose like which details are going to go where. You already established your like introduction, and then you've established your conclusion. Now you're going to figure out which is going to be your final outline, and in this final outline, you're going to place in cues which are going to signal like, okay, here's where I need to pause, here's where I need to speed up, here's where I need to make my voice a little bit louder, or here's where I need to go lower, here's where I need to make it more serious. And you're going to do that by establishing cues and keywords, and those are going to help you kind of like signal out like, all right, this part needs to be faster, this part needs to be slower, let's emphasize this, let's not emphasize that, right? And that's one particular way in which you can practice delivery for that on your final outline. And practice your speech out loud. Hearing yourself practicing your speech, it's going to give you an understanding where you're going to need to place maybe even a little bit more detail. And I highly suggest that you guys time yourself while doing this, right? While practicing your speech out loud or aloud. And this will not only help you like make your time, but it's also going to help you with like where you need to include all of those details, all right? Practice in front of your camera. The book says to practice in front of a mirror, but I want you guys to practice in front of your camera so that like you can see where your eyes are being directed at and how you're be able to like keep that level of eye contact, right? Some of us like to look away sometimes, but that's something that I will be paying attention to, and I did pay attention to in your narrative speech. And so I want you guys to keep in mind that like, yes, body movements are something that we can control, and it's something that can accentuate the level of your speech, but keeping that level of eye contact on your speaker most of the time, if not all of the time, is the perfect way for you guys to be able to have that level of engagement within your audience. Okay, so practice in front of your camera. That's a very key thing. And then lastly, this comes, like I said, it comes from your book, but it's not something I'm going to put you guys on. Like I said about like your like professional appearance or like your personal appearance or however you're going to appear in front of your camera giving your speech. Yeah, number 5, like that one, I'm just gonna say like either you guys can do it or you don't, but it says to dress for the part, right? Like if you're going to give your full speech, dress for your speech and show how it feels to be in the clothes that you're going to be wearing. I gave an example where I had to give a speech in front of 200 people. I did not dress for the occasion. I wore like a sweater and some tight jeans. But I wanted to show my audience, right, we're first generation students. I wanted to show that everyone is like very much similar. Everyone is the same, and sometimes we kind of blend in, and sometimes we don't. So I just keep that in mind. But like I said, if you would like to dress up for your practice, that's absolutely fine. And that is going to be it for this week, guys. No more. We're all done for this week. There isn't going to be any questions on the air. I'm not putting a discussion post. I just want you guys to kind of like take this as a practice sort of deal and look at the method that the book actually gives you. As I mentioned, we can practice our delivery in many different kinds of ways, but our particular way to practice your delivery is just practice it in a way and in an environment that you feel is comfortable with, right? Um, Giving speeches is always a nervous thing to do, but everyone is nervous. Everyone is nervous when giving speeches. So find an environment, find a method that best fits your personality, the way that you can practice when you have time. I know you guys work, so just do it however it makes you feel comfortable. Okay. Um, yeah, and that's it for this week, guys. You guys are all set. I'm sorry the videos were long again. I apologize, but I hope we will be able to cover all of your questions if you have any inside lecture. All right. I'll see you guys later.